Welcome to the Prophecy Club. I'm going to be talking about some shocking information that I just ran across that unfortunately confirms, or should I say further confirms, the warning that was given to Dumitru Duduman. Now, we have a lot of new people listening, so let me take just a moment and explain to you what Dumitru Duduman is, and then I'm going to give you this shocking and perhaps even sad information that confirms what we're talking about. So, who's Dumitru Duduman? He was a Romanian pastor. He smuggled Bibles into Romania and Russia for about 30 years, and in the process, he got very close to God, and God decided to use him to bring a warning to America. What happened was he was arrested. They put him through 5 months of torture trying to get him to tell how he smuggled the Bibles. Who'd he get them from? Who'd he take them to? And he would not tell. Consequently, they put him on the electric chair, not once, but twice. As the electricity is going through him, in both cases, the angel Gabriel showed up in the room and said, "Look at me." He said, "You're not going to die. You're going to America to give them a warning from God. Plead the blood of Jesus." So he started saying, "Singululu Isus, Singululu Isus," which is Romanian for the blood of Jesus. He woke up, they're pouring water on him, slapping him around. They couldn't kill him. Long story short, he was finally exiled to America 4 years later. The angel told him the year, month, day, and hour he would be exiled. It all came to pass. When he came to America, the angel came to him again and said, "Get beside me." He said, "I don't know what it was." He said, "It looked like a big pillow on fire." But he took and showed me all of California and Las Vegas and New York and Florida. And he said, "Do you see what I've shown you? This is Sodom and Gomorrah. In one day it will burn." He said, "How will it burn? America is so powerful." He said, "The fall of America will start with an internal revolution. Started by the communists, some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 of the countries he couldn't remember will attack and defeat America in 1 day and 1 hour, so great riches will come to naught. Then God will raise up China and Japan and many of the nations. They'll go against the Russians. They'll defeat the Russians. They'll back the Russians to the gates of Paris where they sign a peace treaty, but they make the Russians their leader. Then, under the leadership of the Russians, I believe that's the world government, all the world goes down to attack Israel. That's Armageddon. Israel can't count on the help of the Jews in America, so she cries for Messiah. Messiah returns on the clouds and defeats the armies of the earth. My opinion, we are not too far from the fall of America, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So this comes to us from the HalTurnerRadioShow.com. Now, I quote him a lot. He's not a Christian. But why do I quote him? Because he brings information that so far has been proven to be pretty accurate, but he doesn't even understand what he's saying, being he's not a Christian and being he's certainly not a prophecy student. So I bring you the information because it confirms what we already know is coming. So headline, FBI lawyer brags, quote, "I have initiated destruction of the Republic," unquote, dated November 26, 2019. He says a former FBI attorney altered information that supported a FISA warrant that was used to spy on candidate and President Trump and bragged in a text message. This, by the way, he says is soon to be released. And he says, quote, "initiated the destruction of the Republic," unquote, after doing so. He says Kevin Kleinsmith was involved in altering documents used to obtain a FISA warrant to legitimize spying on candidate and President Trump. It is expected this will be coming out in the upcoming Inspector General's report in December, but there's more. We know Kleinsmith was mentioned in the Inspector General's Clinton email report. Attorney 2 from that report was identified by House member Mark Meadows as Kevin Kleinsmith. Meadows revealed his identity over the objection of the FBI during a hearing on the IG's findings. The FBI wanted to keep Kleinsmith's name anonymous, claiming he was a counterintelligence specialist. Horowitz testified, I've got some place I'm going with this, stay with me, it's important. Horowitz testified that the FBI was withholding the names of the other rogue agents from Congress and the public because, quote, "they work on counterintelligence," unquote, and can't be exposed. In other words, the FBI and the DOJ use some of those excuses to cover their dirty work. Okay, anyway, let's go on. He says they don't work in counterintelligence. Meadows said in an exchange with Horowitz, quote, If that's the reason the FBI is given, they are giving you false information because they work for the general counsel. Kleinsmith was caught texting anti-Trump emails while working on the Hillary and the Trump investigations. Now listen to what he says. Kleinsmith sent a number of pro-Clinton, anti-Trump political messages over the FBI's computer system, which, the report said, quote, raised concerns about potential bias. That's an understatement. On page 445 of the DOJ's report on Hillary Clinton's emails, there is a discussion about what Attorney 2, that's Kleinsmith, from the FBI text on October 28, 2016. Among the general discussion of political issues by FBI Attorney 2, we identified 3 instant message exchanges that raised concerns of potential bias. Now, what he's going to say, it's a whole lot more than just potential and bias. Let me get on down to what he says. The messages stated, I never really liked the Republic anyway. The next one is, I never really liked the Republic anyway. That's the second time he says the same thing. As I have initiated the destruction of the Republic, would you be so kind as to have a cup of coffee with me this afternoon? This is the fourth one. I'm clinging to small pockets of happiness in the dark time of the Republic's destruction. Okay, this is one of the guys that was involved with assisting the wiretapping of then candidate Trump, which, of course, turned into President Trump. In other words, they were actually planning the destruction of our nation. Now, I know you look at some of the things that Comey and Nadler and Clinton and, of course, now Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi, you look at some of the things they're doing, and it doesn't even make sense. Why would they do that? They're actually trying to destroy the nation. Well, that is the point. That's what I'm trying to say today, that they are openly knowing what they're doing, and they are trying to destroy our nation. There's more. Notice that the IG's report notes that this is the same time Comey initiated the second review of Hillary's emails after finding them on pervert former Congressman Anthony Weiner's laptop. But what the IG does not say, parenthesis, perhaps because they did not know it at the time, is that this was right after the initial FISA application to spy on Carter Page and consequently candidate Trump. On November 9th, the day after the 2016 election, Kleinsmith texted a fellow FBI associate saying, quote, my GD, and I'm removing the words he actually says because I don't talk like that, even if I do have to quote somebody else. My GD name is all over the legal documents investigating his Trump staff, meaning he, at this point, sees he's about to get caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Let's go back to the article. According to Jeff Carson, at the Markets Work, we know that the actual dates of the FISA applications were from February 28, 2018. Grassley letter to Inspector General Horowitz says, and it gives all the dates here, and I'm going to skip all this because unless you can see it, it really is just confusing. But the point is, and this is the point of the whole article here, they're having actual proof where they're seeing text messages back and forth between people where they're actually trying to destroy our republic, our nation. And then the last one says, but then again, they never liked the republic anyway. People in high positions, in positions that are supposed to be upholding the republic, are actually trying to destroy the republic. That's my point. Okay, so what did the angel say? The fall of America would start with an internal revolution. In other words, people within our nation, the left is going to be fighting the right's going to be fighting the left. Is that not what this article is saying? Are we not seeing? Matter of fact, if you Google Civil War, you will be shocked to find how many articles for various people are all saying that we are on the verge of civil war. Okay, well, wait a minute. What's the difference between a civil war and an internal revolution? Civil war is when one group is angry at the other group, whereas, in my opinion, this is my definition, an internal revolution would be when one group of people is trying to overthrow the government specifically. Well, what is going on with Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi right now? Is this not the start of the internal revolution? I don't see how you can say any other way. So we are really close to falling over the precipice. And when we fall over that cliff, the fall is going to be very quickly. I don't want to believe that Terry Bennett is really correct when he said the angel Gabriel told him that the fall of America would be in the year 2021. I want to believe that that is under the respite that was given to Sundar Selvaraj, and it's under the delay that was given to Maurice Sklar. I want to believe that if we can get Trump reelected and keep him in office, and I say keep him in office by our prayers, if we can do that, brothers and sisters, then hopefully our nation has some more time. And for lots of reasons, I believe we do. But for lots of reasons, sometimes I wonder maybe we don't. So I don't know, but I do know that we're in a great deal of trouble. So let's go on to the next article I wanted to read. This was also posted November 26th, same place, HalTurnerRadioshow.com. Headline: U.S. to declare drug cartels, quote, foreign terrorist organizations, unquote, despite Mexican refusal. Now, hang on. Before I get into this one, let me refresh your memory. From the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, and here it is, Mexico. Mexico is going to be one of the nations that attacks America. Would you say that Mexico right now is angry enough to attack America? Well, in America in her strong state, and Mexico in her fairly weak state right now, I would say probably not. Not only that, but the Mexicans are really kind of after the almighty dollar. Because Trump came up with this possible increase of sanctions, now they have reportedly pulled out some 27,000 Mexican, I guess you'd call them army, but this article says Mexico doesn't have an army. But anyway, they pulled out 27,000 people that are trying to secure their northern border or our southern border. That's good. But what this article is about to say, it's about to give us a very real reason why Mexico could begin to turn against us. Let me just ask you, do you think that America would be happy if Canada decided to send military troops from Canada down into America to try to secure a place to try to remove some evil? Do you think that Americans would be happy about that? Well, that's basically what this article is about to say that we're about to do to Mexico. Listen. Mexico's president announced Monday that he will reject any designation of drug cartels as terrorist organizations by the U.S. government. Today, sources in the White House tell the Hal Turner Radio Show the U.S. will, quote, go ahead anyway, and declare certain cartels as, quote, foreign terrorist organizations, which allows them to use the U.S. military against those cartels inside Mexico. Now get this, whether the Mexicans like it or not. Now let me just pause. What they're saying is that Trump is about to declare these drug cartels foreign terrorist organizations, and thus that gives him, at least in his mind, his authority, and maybe there's some laws to back it up, the authority to send American military into Mexico to put down these cartels. That's what it's basically saying. Now, I'm saying that this could make Mexico mad enough to come back and join Russia in its attack against America. In other words, I'm saying that I'm seeing this as a prophecy student. I'm seeing this as part of the plan. One of the other nations that is ready to attack us. Now, let's go back through those nations before I read the rest of the article. Then from the oceans, Russia. Would Russia attack us? Of course. Cuba. Would Cuba attack us? Of course. Central America. Is Central America angry at America? Yes, because we're just sending their people back. We've cut off funds to them. So a lot of the nations that the prophecy says will attack America have begun to get angry at America. And I have to say, in some cases, it's because of what Trump has done. While he's good in some areas, I also see the hand of God moving to bring our nation down. Let's go on. During this Monday morning press conference, Mexican president said that he would not accept the U.S. potential designation of cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, which would enable the U.S. military to have direct actions in Mexico. He says, we'll never accept that. We are not, whatever it is, nation sellers. It's a Spanish word. According to sources in the White House, this rejection, quote, stuck in the President Trump's craw, unquote. The sources went on to say that the initial reaction of the White House was a conclusion that AMLO is on someone's payroll. Why else would any president, talking about the Mexican president, do anything to protect drug cartels? Okay, well, let's talk about that a second. I think it's because the Mexican president understands who is really in control of his nation. And he understands that if he doesn't cooperate with the cartels, they'll simply take him out. So indirectly, he's really admitting that, yes, he doesn't have control of his nation. Let's go on. So the president's statements, this president of Mexico, come after the relatives of 9 U.S. women and children who died in a cartel ambush in Sonora revealed that they would be meeting with President Donald Trump. The family is expected to ask for some cartels to be labeled as terrorist organizations. Last week, and it gives this governor here, which I can't say his name, used the term narco-terrorism to refer to the brazen acts of citizens in this Spanish place here. I'll skip that. Earlier this year, and it gives another Republican here, some of these names are difficult to say, filed legislation for the most violent cartels in Mexico to be labeled as foreign terrorist organizations, a move that would limit cartel members' abilities to travel and to provide tools to better clamp down on financial transactions. Are you getting that? So they're already taking steps to come against the cartels. Now, I agree the cartel's real bad, but at the same time, I would say if Donald Trump would call me, I would say, look, you can't fix everything all at once. I know you want to. I know you want to fix the whole world, but America's getting spread a little thin here. I mean, we're in Syria. We're having a problem with Iran. We're having a problem with North Korea. I mean, there's so many fires going on around the nation that America has their fingers in. We're stirring up trouble that could cause our nation to fall. And this is a fight we don't have to have right now. We got enough fights without picking on the one that the prophecy says is going to be one of the nations that attack us. Go on with the article. On Monday morning, Lopez Obrador's, that's the Mexican president, Foreign Relations Minister called designations unnecessary and inconvenient, adding that the U.S. and Mexico have a healthy working relationship in fighting cartels. Well, okay, how's that working? Well, cartels about to take over Mexico. They're bringing all kinds of drugs and fentanyl and everything else into America. They're killing people. They're killing people all over Mexico, anything south of the border, and it's a matter of time before they come over our border. So, I can certainly see President Trump's reasoning for doing it. My question is just whether do we have all the strength and power to be fighting the whole world? Let's go on. According to this, terrorist designation would give the U.S. a legal avenue to take direct action on cartels on Mexican soil. Did you hear that? In other words, we would basically be declaring war on Mexican cartels, sending our military down into Mexico. Now, let's put the shoe on the other foot. Would that possibly be something that could make Mexico, and not just the president, but the Mexican people, so angry that when the time comes, when the opportunity presents itself, when the Russians come to Mexico and says, hey, we're going to attack America, would you be willing to join us? Could this be the incident that causes Mexico to say, yep, we're angry enough at America, they've done this and such and that and such, and they even sent their military down into our nation. So the way we look at it, America attacked us first. See what I'm saying? Big problem. Let's go on. Tonight, sources in the White House say President Trump has already decided to go ahead with the foreign terrorist organization designations against the cartels anyway. President Trump is now telling the media, quote, they will be designated. I have offered them, meaning the president of Mexico, to let us go in and clean it out, President Trump responded. He, so far, has rejected the offer, but at some point, something has to be done. Well, again, I agree with President Trump. At some point, something has to be done. But you can't fight the whole world. We're already fighting so many fires in so many different places now. Can we really afford to do this? I think this is a bad move. Let's go on. The president explained that the cartels have, quote, unlimited money from drug smuggling and human trafficking. Yep, that's another reason why they need to be taken out. But are we the ones to do it, and is this the time to do it? Let's go on. I've been working on that for the last 90 days, Trump said. Designation is not easy. You have to go through a lot of process, and we've been well into that process. The president told news organizations earlier this year that he was thinking about the designation. Quote, we're thinking about doing it very seriously. In fact, we've been thinking about it for a long time, he said during an Oval Office interview. It's psychological, but it's also economic. The President Trump explained, quote, as terrorist organization, the answer is yes, they are. Intelligence sources tell Hal Turner radio show that the Mexicans have little choice but to go along with it. They don't have any military to halt whatever the U.S. wants to do. And if they actually fight against us, we'll just crush them, the source said. If Mexico goes wild weasel and tries to ask another country for military assistance to battle us, we will simply tell that country that they risk immediate full-scale war with the United States if they agree. And illicit drugs are killing tens of thousands of Americans every year. This has to stop, and it's going to stop one way or another, the source finished. Do you see a problem? See, because I, as a prophecy student, I see a problem. I see that America is about to get itself in a jam. Okay, now, just off the top of my head, how many nations are angry with America right now? Well, obviously, Russia and Cuba and Nicaragua and Central America, and this is about to anger Mexico and two of the countries, and those other countries are probably Venezuela and Iraq. Would Iraq, if our military were to leave Iraq and let them have their way, would Iraq join a coalition of nations to attack America? Absolutely. Afghanistan, Syria, a lot of those Muslim nations in the Middle East, they love to attack America. What about Mexico? See, I see this as, wow, like a really, really big step in terms of prophecy, a really, really bad step, because we have problems with, what if North Korea were to join it? And by the way, there's been several people that have seen visions of Asians coming in and attacking America. They think that it's China. No, it's not China. But would North Korea attack? Absolutely. And there's probably some other ones out there that hate us, but since we're the guys with all the money in their pocket, they don't let us know just how bad they hate us. But there's a lot of nations that hate America. Well, this is stirring up trouble that I may say maybe unnecessary trouble. This is part. I would say it this way. I think that this is telling us what time it is, telling us how long we have to the fall of America. And if President Trump declares these drug cartels foreign terrorist organizations, and if he actually sends the U.S. military down against these cartels, I think he is going to hit a hornet's nest that is so big and so bad, we are going to get stung from every direction. I heard it once said, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Well, in the case of Mexico, this is keep Mexico your friend and the cartels of Mexico your friend even closer. Doesn't mean you have to do business with them. Doesn't mean you have to help them. But at least you don't want them fighting against you. This, in my opinion, is hitting the hornet's nest. This is stirring up trouble that does not necessarily have to be stirred up. This looks to me like the hand of God raising up another nation to attack and defeat America. And by the way, if you appreciate Prophecy Club, if you could help us with your monthly support, that would be very, very nice. And especially if you could become a partaker. A partaker is someone that sets it up so like once a month they give an automatic donation. You can do that by calling 785-266-1112. That's our office in Topeka. 785-266-1112 and say, I want to become a partaker. We have confirmed that Andre Bronkhorst will be giving personal prophecies at the Sevenfold Miracle Crusade April 8 to 12, 2020. Leslie and I have received over 100 prophecies, but we both agree this man has given us the most accurate, precise prophecy in our life. Finding someone who can hear the voice of God this accurately is a special blessing. Knowing what God would say to you is priceless. Matter of fact, this may be one of the most important few minutes of your life. Here's the problem. We're expecting from 400 to 500 people at the crusade. In speaking with Andre, we estimate he can get to about 200 people. So now what? He's going to give personal prophecies on a first register, first given basis. So the first 200 to register are probably going to get a prophecy. So you want to register early to assure your opportunity to get a personal prophecy to hear from God through Andre Bronkhorst of South Africa. If you need to hear from God, register today at sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. One more time, sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. In 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation just as a simple project. Surprisingly, I began to receive information on 30 revelations and 2 visions beyond what is found in the Bible. God showed me a secret door, which is based upon a single word found in Revelation and Leviticus, linking the feasts to the prophecies. When linked, a person enters into an understanding of Bible prophecy not previously known. Even though I've been in the world of Bible prophecy for 40 years, frankly, I did not know anything of what is in this book. One prophetic word described it this way: there is a lock that I have put over a word in the book of Revelation that I'm going to open to you. It will turn so many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books. That's this book. Topics are: Jesus returns on what feast? The secret of the feasts. Who are the 2 witnesses? What is the morning star? The judgment seat explained. The great white throne explained. The nations explained. What is the shout? And the parables explained. Seals, trumpets, and vials go in what order? 2 amazing prophecy charts on the back flap, 12 inches by 9 inches. Imagine a book on prophecy that brings a fresh, new, accurate perspective. I don't want you to get one book for $20. I want you to get 5 books for $30 or 10 for $55. It's called The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, available at prophecyclub.com. The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. 1 for $20. No, don't do that. You want to get 5 for $30 or the best deal, 10 for $55. prophecyclub.com. God has called this ministry to win thousands upon thousands, to build an end-time army of prophecy teachers working miracles. If you love Prophecy Club, you are a watchman. Thus, you are called to be part of this end-time army, and you should be at this crusade. I will teach through my 2 prophecy charts, talk on Miss the Mark, lay hands on, and anoint you with 4 milliliters of revelation oil for you to receive the same revelation spirit I received when I memorized the book of Revelation. Leslie will teach on her School of the Prophets, lay hands on you and anoint you with her prophetic oil to receive the prophetic anointing to hear the voice of God more clearly. Registration fee $300. Do not doubt whether God has called you to be at this crusade. Be like Caleb and believe God to provide the funds and the days off to attend. If you love Prophecy Club, that is your confirmation to come. The Holy Spirit gave you that desire. Pray, and God will provide the ways and the means. This is a supernatural meeting to prepare you to walk supernaturally in the supernatural days of tribulation, so use your supernatural faith to come. April 8 through 12, 2020 at the Hyatt Regency in Richardson, Texas. That's in the DFW area. Go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com and register. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. The registration fee increases the closer we get to the crusade. You can now watch 160 Prophecy Club recordings and soon over 300 without interruption. Most people would agree 300 titles, normally $30 each. A gift of $100 a month would be reasonable. $50 a pretty good deal, but the introductory rate for a limited time is just $20 recurring monthly subscription. A 1-year subscription is a gift of $200. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime you want to, and you get the first 3 days free just to check it out. The best deal is a yearly subscription that'll lock in your rate for a year even when we raise the rates. Watch prophecyclub.com. Go check it out. Watch prophecyclub.com.
We would not be here without your prayers and generous financial support.